So it's Saturday morning, and there's a mysterious ticking in my house. We can't find it. We think it's coming from on top of the refrigerator. So I sent Jane up to look. She can't find it. I have no idea where it's. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I have no idea where it's coming from.
It's driving me nuts so bad.
It's over here somewhere. It's got to be.
Last time I heard it was like somewhere over here. We can't find it. We're out of luck. Sounds like it's coming from the living room somewhere.
No, it's over here. Because if you go into the living room, it drifts away.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at work, getting ready to go in. And yes, we found that beeping. Let me tell you where that beeping was. It was in a drawer. I was standing right next to the drawer. My daughter and I, neither were smart enough or awake enough to check the drawers in the kitchen. Nope, it was too early. We were too tired. We weren't even awake yet. Ooh, my husband found it. It was a phone he had charged previously, and he had just stashed it in the drawer. It's gonna be one of those days. Hi guys, so it's about 9 o'clock, and I've been putting in a lot of heavy-duty work into my genealogy research, because next month, or in about 6 weeks actually, I can actually go full steam with my channel and with my genealogy videos and research and tutorials and things like that. There's a lot of awesome things I'm gonna be able to do, and I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to share the stuff that I can finally share, the stuff that I've been talking about for about a year, trying to do and get together and pull. And it's been a wild journey, and I can't wait to start the next one. So that being said, I'm going to do the worst parenting fail prompt, and I saw this on my friend Megan's channel. You can check her out down below. I'd have to say my worst parenting fail is when we lost Lucy. That's right, I said we lost Lucy. She was about maybe 5 years old, and I was pregnant with Annie at the time. It's actually a long story, so I'm going to keep it simple, but I'm going to get to the point too. At the time, my husband was traveling for work, and he worked for the Carnival Fair Company, and they traveled all up and down the East Coast. And they happened to be in a big city, not too far from where we are, that was in Asheville, North Carolina. And it's a huge city. And their fair stop was pretty massive, pretty big. Asheville is a huge place. Look it up. So I don't even know how she got away from me. I don't even remember her pulling away from my hand. I don't remember taking my eyes off her, but I must have for her to slip away just like that. But I had my eyes on Jaina and Lucy, and a split second later, Lucy was gone, and it scared me so bad. I don't think I've ever been that scared in my life ever. Keep in mind, Lucy at 5 years old wasn't the Lucy you guys see and hear now. Lucy at 5 years old was not as verbal, was not as outspoken, was not as mobile as she is now. She's made a lot of progress over the years. So when she went missing, I immediately yelled at the top of my lungs because my husband was helping on a ride. I don't remember if they were running it or finishing like the last touches to it or something, but he was overseeing the rides being put together because he was foreman. And I yelled, "Where is Lucy?" at the top of my lungs. I screamed. Keep in mind, I was pregnant with Annie, and when I mean pregnant, I mean heavily pregnant. I was maybe, I want to say maybe my last trimester, my second or last trimester, somewhere in there. I screamed, "Where's Lucy?" He comes flying down the platform, and we bolt. We take off looking for her. Not even a second later, he's got the cops on the walkie-talkies saying there's a missing child. They have the entire park shut down, and I don't remember how big this park was because we haven't been back since, but they had everything locked down. They had all the rides stopped. Everything was stopped. Nobody could leave. Nobody could enter. Nothing. We found her a couple seconds later. Not even, we found her a couple minutes later. She was actually 2 rides over from where we were. She wanted to get on a ride that we told her to wait for because it wasn't even operating yet. And she sat on a bench beside one of the rides, and let me tell you guys, those few moments when we didn't know where she was completely time stopping and heart stopping and everything. I didn't breathe. Nothing in my body physically worked until I found my child. And by the time I found her, she didn't appear to be afraid or scared. She just wanted to go ride on rides. And it petrified me so much. And luckily it wasn't any worse. I mean, I was fearful that somebody had took my child and ran off with her. But she just wandered off by herself because I told her no about something and she wanted to go do it anyways. So that's my worst parenting fail story. Luckily, that's the only bad thing that's happened. Well, that's the worst thing that's happened, I guess. But yeah, so it's getting pretty late. I still have some more work to do, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I have to get these guys down. They're getting cranky and irritable. I'm sure you guys can hear them bouncing back and forth and screaming and yelling. But I will see you guys later. Hi guys, it's about 12:30 Sunday. And I'm going to share with you an experience that I had today. Gotta take a swig of coffee first because I'm just tired. But today I experienced something that I think a lot of us special needs parents do on occasions. Do you ever come across a person or a friend that says, "Oh, my kid does this too," or "I think this is typical that all kids do," when you're trying to describe something that your special needs child does? I've had that happen twice with 2 friends that I grew up with, and both of them have been extremely passive aggressive and toxic and naysaying, and I just cut ties immediately. Not because I don't agree with you. Here's the thing. There's a way to do this, and there's a way to approach special needs parents without coming across as passive aggressive or like what our child's accomplishments look like. Their accomplishments doesn't matter. Without going into detail, when you tell a special needs mom that it's typical for a child to do this isn't related to special needs, when you tell them that, it can be extremely destructive. And let me tell you how it can be extremely destructive. We put a lot of time and energy and effort into our children's progress. We spend every waking moment, a lot of times every sleeping moment, into our children's lives. Not saying that regular normal children don't get the same treatment, but you take the amount of work that you have in a normal family and times that by 1,000. That's what we have to go through every day, every night, 24/7, 365 days a year. That's our lives. And we rejoice in what our children do. We laugh, we talk, we joke, we share war stories, we share battle scars, we share everything together. And when somebody says something relating to their child and you come across saying, very rudely mind you, that, oh, this isn't autism related, this is typical in every child. First of all, maybe so. However, you just took away that little sliver of happiness and humor that that parent had. You destroyed that little bit of life that was being shared to others that don't have an insight. And some of you may not have gone through this, some of you may have. Some of you may have actually said these words, or you may haven't. And in case you have said these words to somebody else, this is what it feels like. You feel a little betrayed because it was a friend that you grew up with, and slightly confused because you assumed that person knew what you went through every day, which is my mistake. I never make assumptions of anybody or anything, but because I grew up with you and you see my life on a daily basis, I'm going to automatically assume you know what I go through. So I'm not going to assume anymore. So this is why I'm speaking about this right now, because that's not something us special moms want to hear. A lot of my friends who are special needs moms have heard this before, and they just nod it off. They just brush it off. But when you hear it more than once from somebody, that person becomes a little bit toxic, and you have to deal with enough. You don't need people patronizing and justifying details of your child's life, not when you worked so hard to achieve all that you have achieved so far. So if you feel like cutting ties off with this person, then go ahead. You have every right to feel that way. You have every right to say, no, I feel like this and this and this, and I feel like you're wrong because of this, this, and this reason. That's perfectly acceptable. Nobody can tell you what you can and cannot feel like. That's you. But I'm just saying, don't ever tell a special needs mom, oh, my kids do this too. That's not the way to go. Because like I said, it may be true, because I'm pretty sure a lot of times my older daughter, who doesn't have special needs, does certain things that my younger daughters with special needs do. And that's fine. I mean, kids are going to be kids. But don't try and justify us. Don't try and justify our kids' traits or their achievements or anything that they do. Okay? We're just trying to say, hey, look, this is our day. This is what's going on. We're just trying to give an insight, like I said. And this is why special needs moms shut down, because people like that are often quick to say, hey, look, maybe this isn't autism related. This is just a normal kid reaction. And maybe you're just not aware of it, but that's what happened. So please don't ever say that to anybody, because that's just, it's wrong.